So what is going on, guys? This is the Niche Movies back again with a brand new video. I'm switching up the content today, not going to be doing a I Watch series or a movie night series video today. Today I'm actually going to be taking a further look into my collection here. A suggestion I got from a viewer a couple months ago now was to do my top 10 favorite VHS in my collection. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So a couple disclaimers. Even though I have been collecting the VHS for about 2 years now, a lot of the time I do purchase what I purchase from opportunity shops, charity shops, things like that. I have occasionally ordered on eBay for specific items, or if it's, a specific time of year like a Christmas or a birthday and you want to splurge a little more. But for the most part, my collection as a whole has just been built up from the ground up from sort of my area of opportunity shops. I say this more or less to say that you won't be seeing like a Cars on VHS here or a Sky High, titles that go for thousands and thousands of dollars. If I come across them in the wild doing what I've been doing, all power to me. There will be some on the pricier side, but for the most part, there'll be different reasons to why they're my favorite in my collection. And once again, I do have VHS collection overviews on the channel. I have 2 up right now. I think the collection sits at about 600 titles. So with that out of the way, let's get into my top 10 favorite VHS I personally own. So out of all the spots on this list, number 10 could definitely be swapped out at some point in the future. I'm sure many of these could. It really just depends on sentimental value. But I'm going to start off with my number 10 spot, going to the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. I have volume 1 and 2 here. Not super rare. I got these for about $5 a piece from a fellow collector. I've never actually seen the show, but I am a person that loves product placement. I know a lot of people don't. They just think it's oversaturated. I mean, personally, I'm from the generation that grew up with McDonald's, Happy Meal parties, and that was like one of the coolest things to do as a kid. So of course I'm going to gravitate towards a show like this. Once again, these probably go for about like $20 a piece AUD. I am from Australia. I'm sure you can tell by my accent if you're new here. But, pricing on VHS is very different here compared to the US, but about $20 a piece here. Have you guys seen this show? I'm a huge fan of animation, and once again, McDonald's as a brand, so I had to give it my number 10 spot. If anyone knows how many actual volumes there are of this show also, let me know down below. So with number 10 out the way, that of course means we're moving on to number 9, and this is where it really gets a bit more sentimental, bit more reason behind it. Coming in at my number 9 position is actually my only factory sealed VHS. I do have several VHS that are sealed, the tape inside the case, very standard to get it like that, but the actual casing, very rare. And my number 9 position goes to the Phantom of the Opera. Once again, I found this at an opportunity shop. The reason this is on the list is not only because it's sealed. I am a huge fan of the Universal films. It is a shame that my Invisible Man movie night didn't get to see the light of day because I had nothing but praise for that film. Obviously, the glare on this is just going to be crazy. I'm sorry. The reason it's on this list as well is because this particular version, the Romance Collection, this is number 16 in whatever romance collection this is. I can't find this anywhere. If somebody wants to do a deep dive and try to find this particular release, I tried. I could not find it on eBay, so it feels like I'm sitting on a bit of a rarity here. I don't know if the Phantom of the Opera is public domain. Obviously, it's probably like 100 years old at this point, or close to. It's actually a film I've never seen. Once again, very standard. I do own other copies of the film, but you got to put it on the list for being brand new and sealed, and that's why it's on here. Simple as that. But really cool, sort of rarer version of Phantom of the Opera. Moving on to my number 8 position. If I did a DVD collection right now or a Blu-ray collection right now, these films are always going to make it onto that list. Some of my favorite films of all time. And recently, as in a couple months ago, I finally got to complete the trilogy. So my number 8 position is going to the Back to the Future trilogy. So the original copy of Back to the Future I've had for years, man, prior to even gathering this collection. This is a CIC big box. It's hideous in my opinion, but at some stage I'll have to update this version and get this sleek black versions that they have here for 2 and 3. Once again, 2 and 3 I did purchase off a collector. I think I paid about $20 a piece for these, but I just wanted to own them, man, because I've owned the original for so long. It's been some time since I've actually sat down and watched the film, so I'm really due a revisit. but I'm just one of those sickos that can't just watch one off. I just gotta smash the whole trilogy out as soon as I start it. For me, I'm probably more of a fan of 2 than any. 2, 1, 3. But 3 gets a lot of hate. 3 is really interesting, and if you're into Westerns, get around it. Random fact as well, something I went to sleep to last night. If you guys have not checked out the channel on YouTube, Defunct Land, talking about abandoned amusement parks and rides that, failed. They were talking about Universal Studios and the Back to the Future ride. It was a really interesting little documentary. You got to check them out, man. Go check them out. So once again, nothing too special in terms of, I guess they are pricier than your regular 50-cent op shop video, but this is really here for the quality of the films themselves. Moving on to my number 7 position. I know very little of this show, but I just know that I really enjoyed watching this, and this is Manhunt, Search for the Night Stalker. I have not delved into the Manhunt series, but basically the reason I enjoyed this so much is I am a huge true crime buff. I enjoy the documentaries more so than, the TV shows. I've been watching a lot of hate going towards the Ed Gein show as of recently, which is fair. It's an overly sexualized show, and I don't want to delve into all those intricacies right now. But I feel like if you're interested enough to watch a show like Monster and you're disappointed with the sexualism of it all, this is actually a really good sort of retelling, sort of more true to the victims, as well as, it's not too graphic. Like, basically, it's reenactments. That's what it is. It's like a documentary with reenactments, and I'd watched the Night Stalker documentary that Netflix had done, and I prefer this. I think this is a much better, well-done episode. It goes for 93 minutes, an hour and a half, man. It's a rarer VHS. I did buy this on eBay, so I did not find this one out in the wild. I just found this to be thoroughly enjoyable. It was one of my earlier VHS pickups, and I think it's a really interesting story, and they went about it the right way. So definitely one of my favorite VHS I've ever watched. There are a couple pricier ones coming. If you guys have clicked on the video to see, that sort of aspect, let me just get through my number 6 position here. This one is simply a sentimental pick, and that is going to the film Zulu. Zulu was my grandfather's favorite film, or at least very up there for him. The reason this one is so special is because I'd been collecting VHS for 2 years at this point, and I'd never once come across this particular film on the VHS. The second he passes away, man, next opportunity shop I go to, it's sitting on the top just like begging to be picked up. Now I know that might be a bit woo-woo, might be a bit too spiritual for some, but I just think it's a nice thing to believe in. It was very meant to be in that moment. And I did grow up on this film, I did watch it, and basically I owe a lot of my love for cinema and my intrigue in old and newer films to my grandfather. And so that's why Zulu has to be number 6. It's a fantastic movie, and it was a really rare find at the time. So coming in at my number 5 position, probably one of my oldest VHS in my collection, and also, even though I have not looked up every individual title, because what would be the point? I'm not selling them off. I have looked up this particular title, and it is on the pricier side. Once again, last time I checked, probably about $80 to $90 AUD. And this is the CIC version of John Carpenter's The Thing. Very similar to the Back to the Future tape. I had this prior to collecting. I really don't even remember where I got this from. Fantastic film. Some people say it's the best horror remake of all time. I can't really argue with it. It has been many years since I have watched The Thing. I, of course, also own the original, but this has to be up there for the simple fact that, yes, this is worth some absolute coin comparing to some other films in my collection. Once again, it is a CIC release. I find it hilarious that CIC can be a bit pricier as a brand, but then the cover art choices are just like, this is not the cover I would have picked for The Thing. But it is what it is. It is a fantastic horror sci-fi film, and I'm happy to own it. I have not seen this version or even another version of The Thing. I am prone to picking up duplicates, so I got this at a good time, clearly. And horror films in general on the VHS are much harder to find out in the wild, so CIC's The Thing. Alright, so my number 4 position, it'd be rude not to put it on here, as I own not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 versions of the original trilogy. And while I'll always pick up Star Wars if I see it out and about, I have paid varying prices. Some of the cheapest, but the coolest versions I've ever picked up are these releases here. So it's only fitting that I own 4 copies of the Star Wars original trilogy, and I put it at my number 4 position. I posted a reel the day I got these. This was a really exciting find. I think I got these for $1, $2 at max each. These are here for the fact that obviously I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I have a whole ranking of the series on the channel. Go check that out. It's for the unique cover art, man. I have never seen posters like this. I do enjoy the original Star Wars title and it not being called A New Hope as well. Just a little fun thing with that. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite, and this might be my favorite box art as well. And then it could be a close second with the Return of the Jedi. Like, in terms of cover art, this is hard. I like this a lot. What's to say about these fantastic films that hasn't been said already? I grew up on the Star Wars trilogy. I grew up on the prequel trilogy. The Disney ones, I did have a really fun experience with Episode 7 and going to the midnight release, but let's just not talk about them any further. Some rarer VHS like releases. Once again, because how many times can I pick up the same copy of this? I mean, I will. I'll get 4 or 5 more of them. But these, a bit more unique. I did get comments on the reel asking about like aspect ratios and like what has been cut into the film as the George Lucas, fingers started getting a bit more busy later in life. I have no idea. I honestly haven't watched Star Wars on the VHS. I do need to watch these on the VHS quality. I just tend to go to Disney with these films, which is a shame. So coming in at my number 3 position is a gift I got very early on into collecting for my birthday from my beautiful fiance, Siobhan. So honestly, I mean, it's all the way at number 3. What a great gift. And this is the Halloween 4 and 5 double feature pack. I would recommend picking this up because it is still at the sort of price range that is not sickening to your face. This double pack would go for about $40 to $50 AUD, at least last time I checked. Obviously now I would love to own the original and its sequels on the VHS. At minimum, you're spending at least $200 AUD for at least one of those films. So that's what I'm saying. You get 2 for 1. It's a really cool double feature thing. I've always enjoyed that whole like drive-in theater experience, the double feature film. So I thought it's a cool box set. I actually hadn't watched Halloween 4 or 5 until I checked out this VHS. It's affordable. It's horror that I really like. I will say that I would purchase this more as either completing of a collection, as a really cool piece for your shelf, but not really for viewing. Now, a lot of times I have defended the VHS and enjoy the quality, and I do. I play it on a plasma, granted an older plasma, but I've really never had too many complaints about VHS quality. These films are very, very dark, like shot at night, and the VHS just does not handle it. So I felt like I missed a lot of, I'm going to say Halloween 4. I can't quite remember which sequel it was, but one of them was just, I might as well have just closed my eyes for half the movie. So the actual VHS quality is kind of doo-doo. But as a collector's piece, and once again, to finish off a collection or what have you, I'd recommend it. I mean, it's really, really cool. I'm a huge fan of the slasher genre, probably my favorite horror genre. And Halloween's a really good series, so it deserves number 3. Coming in at my number 2 position is, no shock if you know me and have been following me for years, this is The Simpsons Year 2, Part 2. So basically, I was unaware for the longest time that this even existed. They did 2 seasons, the first 2 seasons of the show on a VHS release. Season 2 being split into 2 different box sets here. I have the second half of Season 2. An awesome gift from my cousin. I actually have a VHS out and about video, or VHS hunting video, where I feature getting this. I believe it to be VHS hunting number 5. Go check that out if you're interested. So, I mean, I'm biased. I'm a huge fan of The Simpsons, but honestly, look at the box art for a second. It's the same reason I love that Star Wars VHS, is because this is artwork you genuinely just don't see. I mean, Bart's got the blue shirt, like the old merchandise. Grandpa out here breathing fire for whatever reason. They had so many different inserts here, like, so we got the coming soon to video. Obviously, I'm a huge fan, if you guys have watched the updates, of the stickers still being on it and things like that. There was a Magi Noodle. It will be in here somewhere. There's a Magi Noodle competition where you can get drawn into The Simpsons and get a tour of, where they make the show. God damn it, if only I wasn't like 45 years too late. But anyway, I mean, price-wise, these go for about $35 to $40 a piece. And I'm going to have to collect them all one day. So I've got 1 out of 4 of the collection so far. I believe season 1 split into 2. I could be wrong. But my number 2 position, I have to go with my heart here, and it definitely goes to The Simpsons. And the finale, here we are at my number 1 position. This one was just the first one I even thought of. There's no doubt in my mind this will probably forever remain my favorite number 1 VHS in my collection. It's another stack of 3 films here, but we have to give our number 1 position to a horror franchise, probably my favorite horror franchise, and the reason I collect VHS to this day. Number 1 goes to Psycho 2, Psycho 3, my favorite, and Psycho 4. Basically, the whole reason I started this journey of collecting VHS was because I was intrigued by collecting horror on the VHS, but I just thought it was way too pricey for me, even at the time. Now it's only gone up, so is what it is. In the same vein as Halloween 4 and 5, these are some of the most reasonably, if I can say that word, priced VHS horror slashers out there. Once again, it's been 2 years or so since I purchased these, but I got them for about $30 to $40 for the 3 here. I do own the Vince Vaughn remake. I do own the original. I have the whole series, but these sequels are special in the fact that I saw these for the price they were going for, and I purchased my VHS player right next to it. These are featured in my very first VHS update I ever did. Shout out to the real ones that were there since day dot. I don't expect it to be many. I hadn't watched the films until the VHS, so they made me fall in love with VHS quality. Honestly, hot take, Psycho 2 is a decent film, man, but I gotta give it to 3 and 4. 3 being my favorite, directed by Anthony Perkins. This is where he gets to go full Norman. Just batshit insane. I think this might be my favorite Psycho film in general. If you look at my letterbox, it's in my top 4 favorite movies of all time. Probably still stand on that. I know it's not like that for a lot of people, but for me it is. And Psycho 4 is a really cool plot, like this sort of podcast where Norman Bates rings up. Some people might think it's goofy. I honestly loved it. Rest in peace to Anthony Perkins. And honestly, I'll never not thank these movies for getting me back into movie collecting, getting me into the VHS itself, and just the fact these are reasonably priced VHS horror, which is a very rare thing to say. So my number 1 position, the Psycho sequels. So just before I end this video, I actually want to go over my wish list and movies that I hope to achieve collecting in the future. Achieve's an odd word, but I've ran with it. These are not the most common VHS wants. Basically, I just want to sort of give you a bit of a grasp on what my taste is, if you couldn't get a grasp of it just from that list there. So starting off, Halloween 3. I'd obviously love to own 1 and 2. I've seen the films though. I've never seen Season of the Witch, and I've always just been so intrigued by it. It's still expensive. It definitely is, but it's not as expensive as 1 or 2, and I wants it, man. I wants to see it. The next one up is, just run-of-the-mill. I could get this right now. It's probably like $15 on eBay, but I kind of just want to find it out in the wild, and that is the Iron Giant. I don't know why I'm such a big fan for kids' films that bombed back in the day, but I likes what I likes. It's Vin Diesel getting paid easy money, even before he got paid to voice Groot. Then we have, in the similar vein to the Simpsons collection, something I only recently just found out is on the VHS, and that is Futurama seasons. I believe seasons 1 and 2, similar to the Simpsons, are on VHS. These are more pricey than the Simpsons though, and it makes sense that I hadn't really heard of them. They're like $100 for a season, but huge fan, and I wants it. Then we have Star Wars Episode 3. I've watched several videos of YouTubers, shout out Young Junko, trying to collect this thing. I don't believe there is an English release for it, but I have every other Star Wars movie I care to own on the VHS. I want it in my collection one day. It's mad expensive. I want it. I want it. And the last one up, I'm simply putting this here because this is my favorite poster art of any horror movie of all time. Have I seen the film? No. So let me know your thoughts a bit down below, but I would love to own Blood Diner on VHS. I used to always want this one on DVD. I never came across it when I was doing the DVD collecting. Of course, I'm never going to find this one out in the wild, but as long as it's that chef animation, or the chef imagery, if you will, that's the one I want, man. It is my favorite movie poster, horror movie poster of all time. I'd love to own it one day. I'd love to have the poster hanging up in this room. I think that is some of the sickest art ever. So with those closing sentiments, thank you all for watching this video. Please leave this video a like. Let me know what you thought of my top 10 down below. Let me know what your top 10 VHS are down below. And with that said, guys, this is the Ninja Movies signing out. See you next time.